Our Lenten series is called Holy Vessels, a Season of Healing. I'm joined today in honor of all the children that may be out there and families by Rupert, who also just wanted to be here to offer his support as we begin this journey of healing. And as part of In the Lenten Guide, you will find that we have some different practices. And one of those practices is experiencing God's love in the world as an act of healing. And so we'll be doing different things every week, and I'll provide a video that walks you through what to do to help you experience God's healing. It will require us to look inside of ourselves and to do some different things. This past Wednesday was the beginning of the season of Lent. It's a time when we do our best to turn away from things that would keep us from growing closer to God. For some people, it's a time when they give up something like maybe a favorite food or a habit. For others, they take on something new, like maybe volunteering or reading more. In many ways, I think for a lot of us, we have felt like we've been in one long Lent, hasn't it? And we've been just giving up different things of our lives that we're used to. We've had to do it whether we chose to or not. And we found ourselves taking on new things and having to learn new things, if only it was to help us get through this, whether it was learning new technology so we could participate on Zoom, or whether it was for a lot of our families and our kids having to learn how to transition to online learning, and parents having to, being home and supporting their children through a different way of learning. Our bodies are tired, our minds are overwhelmed, our souls are weary, and what we need right now is healing. And it's a very important part of healing. Is the very first thing is telling the truth about what's going on and what hurts. So think about it. Imagine you're sick and you go to the doctor. And when you arrive, the doctor asks you to describe, like, what's wrong? And you say, oh, nothing. You know, the doctor then wouldn't really know much what to do. So before we can mend, we must first name those things that are broken. And so before we can dance in the light, we must first acknowledge the night. So that's what we're going to take some time to do in this experience of God's love in the world as an act of healing. So the first thing we're going to do, what you're going to need for this activity is you're going to need a piece of paper. You're going to need some Scotch tape, and then either like pens, or maybe you have like a beautiful bin full of different kinds of crayons or markers or twisty crayons or just regular crayons, but any kind of these kinds of sorts of supplies. So go ahead and get all of that, pause the video, and go get what you need so that you have these items with you. So the very first thing, now that you have everything, you take your paper, and what I would like you to do is to take a crayon or a marker, and I think I'm going to take a crayon, and I'm going to take a purple crayon because I love the color purple, and I actually like these little twisty crayons. So, and I want you to write down all the hurts you feel because of the past year. It could be sadness about missing games, concerts, graduation, time away from family and friends. It could be frustration with having to do so many things virtually. It could be anger at situations that aren't fair for yourself or others. So I want you to take your time and write down all your hurts. And you might need to just take a few moments and pause this video to be able to do that. Welcome back. I hope that you and everybody in your household were able to write down all your sadnesses and hurts and anything that felt broken from the last year. And so are you ready to move on from the hurt? So what if we just erase those hurts? So if you've got a big eraser, I don't happen to have one, you could erase it and make them go, to make them go away. Or if you don't, maybe you could use a crayon, maybe get a different color than what you used before. Black's a good one. Maybe you could scribble over all of it to make it go away. Arr. So scribble over it, maybe, so, you know, take your hurts, scribble all over them, erase them, see what you can do. Now, no matter how much you scribble or how much you erase, did the hurts go away? You can most likely, like I can, you can still see, like I can still see the purple through the black. I don't know if you can see that on the camera or not. And so we can't just cover them up or pretend that the hurts never happened. So I'll tell you what, let's try wadding them up and let's toss them away. Did they go away? Well, if we toss them to the ground, all it really did was make a mess. It didn't really get rid of the hurts. All right, I have to go pick up a piece of paper now. Okay, well, let's see, that didn't get rid of it. Coloring over it didn't get rid of it. It didn't really make a difference. The hurts are still there. So let's just take this paper, we'll smooth it out, and let's just tear this whole sheet of paper in half. So now you have 2 sheets of paper. Did that make a difference? Not really. So here's what we're gonna do. Take a moment and smooth out these 2 pieces of paper now. Seeing all the hurts, and just kind of put your piece of paper together and then take some tape and let's tape it. Use one big long piece. You can do what I'm doing. I'm using a couple of little pieces. So now what does your paper look like? If it's like mine, it's kind of messy and bumpy, and I can still read, you know, barely. I mean, some of the hurts I was able to scribble over. You might have been able to erase them, but you still kind of faintly see them. So are we stuck this way? All like bumpy and hurt still there? Well, not at all. Now we get to do something else that's important in healing. So I invite you to pick up your piece of paper and we're going to turn the page and turn it over. So look at that, an empty page. Does turning the page mean our hurts never happened? No, not at all. We look at this new page. It's not perfect. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it's a new start. It's a new chance to take what we have and create something meaningful, even beautiful out of it. So here's what we're going to do. I invite you to go back to your bin of crayons, markers, whatever it is, and I invite you to now make something beautiful on this. Maybe draw a picture, an uplifting picture, or fill the page with kind words, or write an encouraging note to yourself, whatever it is. And then what I'd like you to do is, if you're doing this in your household, is share that beautiful picture with those in your house, or take a picture of it, take a picture of it and share it on the Misfits, so that we can really support each other in what we made that can be beautiful, and the kind words and the ways in which we can support one another, and we can transform the hurts of the past year into something beautiful, remembering that God doesn't throw away. The power of God's love transforms. So we took the torn, blurry, wadded up piece of paper of our own hurts and transformed it into something beautiful. And doesn't mean the hurts weren't any less real or easy to overcome, but it does mean that inside you, that God has placed inside you what was there at from the very beginning. We all have the ability to turn the page and to heal, and to just be reminded of God's transforming love.